This is Jason David Frank, and you're listening to the Geekcast Radio Network.
You are now on the inside of what I like to call the circle of trust.
We are all connected in the great circle of life.
You know something, Bert? What? I think you and I are going in circles.
It feels like we're going in circles.
The circle is now complete. When I left you, I was but the learner. Now I am the master.
Because it's a circle.
Yeah, we heard about the circle.
Yes, we're familiar with shapes.
Hi, this is Chuck.
This is Greg.
And this is Dan. And we are Talking in Circles, brought to you by the Geekcast Radio Network, the podcast that is finally determining, are they real or are they fake? Yes, this week we'll be discussing...
We're talking about boobs, finally.
Yeah, finally, Greg. Finally, for the first time. No, not boobs, but what we'll be doing in this episode, we'll be playing a brand new game, because that's what we're about here. And what we'll be doing is I will be giving out different ideas for movies, TV shows, comic books, and Greg and Chuck will be trying to determine if those things are actually real or if they are fake. You'll be surprised what's actually coming out shortly, so it should be fun as we go down that route. But
if they're too firm looking and too perfect looking, they're definitely fake.
I guess that's a way to look at it. That's true. There you go. Besides that, how's the week been going for you guys?
Pretty strange, I guess. I guess Greg had his bout with some injuries a week or two ago, and
don't say it, Chuck.
I took my turn.
Oof.
Major, I guess, but it was just like a bunch of like little things like all at once. I had like 4 injuries at the same time, so it was pretty annoying. A few of them may or may not have been related to weightlifting, but just some annoying things I found. I kind of did something to my shoulder, and then my elbow was bothering me, and then my back was bothering me, and just a ridiculous week. And like I kind of did some research and stuff, and like there are like certain exercises, like particularly like pressing movements, like incline stuff that people like have shoulder problems with, and I think I'm just one of those people, because like I could do other stuff and it doesn't bother me, so I guess I just have to sort of not do that particular thing. But yeah, it was not fun icing the shoulder, and kind of worrying, did I screw something up majorly, or is it just like a pulled muscle or what? But thankfully I'm about 98% right now. Everything's almost back to normal.
I actually started to try and work out again this week. I started on Monday. I worked out once, and it was the first exercise for P90X's chest and back. And my injury was kind of back, so it wasn't too happy afterwards, and it hasn't been happy for the past couple of days. So I'm like, maybe I'll wait another week or two before I try again.
Welcome to Getting Old podcast. So
yeah, and I actually went to the doctor early in the week and like had a talk with him and stuff, and like I wanted to know if I could go back to working out, and he's like, oh yeah, you're fine, you can go back to working out. So like I get home, and I'm like so excited to get back working out. I know I sound like really lame, but I get back, I do a session, feel really good, and then like later in the night, like my back is kind of like sore, and I'm like, that's funny, that never happened before. And the next like 2 consecutive mornings I was in like a ton of pain. But I think it was just like a pulled muscle. I tried something new, and I guess I must have just twisted the wrong way or something. But yeah, you get old, and you gotta sort of learn your limitations, I guess.
Today's lesson: exercising is bad. I guess no.
And I think I'm allergic to it. Like I get short of breath, and like I start sweating and turn all red and stuff.
Get really thirsty. It's weird. Yeah. Greg, how things going with you?
Pretty good. Nothing really exciting going on. I tried to make a Caprihina for myself tonight, and ended up making a new beverage. Yeah, because we were out of ice, and I already like put the lime and the sugar together to make my Caprihina. Didn't have any ice, but the one thing we did have was an Italian ice in the freezer, like these little Italian ice cups. I'm like, it'll just make it a little bit more sweeter, and so I added that in instead of the ice. Added the cachaça and mixed that up, and put a little extra water in there because I figured it'd be a little bit too sweet. So I figured the water would kind of get a little bit of the sugar reduced in there. So I added a little bit of that. It was actually pretty good. I call it a Brazilian snowball.
Brazilian snowball.
Yeah, because the Italian ice was still like really frozen, so it just looked like a giant snowball.
Sounds like a cosmetic procedure. That occurred very well.
Yeah.
Very nice.
It was pretty good. A little bit too sweet. If I didn't have already have it mixed in with the sugar, I would have added like a little less sugar in there at the beginning.
Yeah. Well, I've also been exercising, and I gotta kind of admit something for this podcast, and that is that I have maybe become somewhat of there's a disease going around called podiatric, and I think I might have it. So a lot of people know the game Pokemon Go has been like freaking going everywhere, and I downloaded it like last week because honestly it's just thought, oh, this would be something funny to talk about on the podcast, just to see. I never played a Pokemon game in my life. I never had the desire to, but it was free. It doesn't cost anything, so I'm like, yeah, I'll see what it's like, and it is somewhat addicting. I know it's been all over the news lately, and there's a lot of like, people acting really stupid about it. For those who don't know about it, I don't know how you can operate the internet and download a podcast and not know about it, but it's this game where it's an augmented reality. So it's almost like Google Maps with Pokemon in a way, where like there are whatever Pokemon around the area that you attempt to catch, and then there are also like other elements of the game, but that there are like landmarks, like statues in your area or parks in your area, or like
around here it's apparently a cemetery, because the one lady I work with said at the Dunmore cemetery when she goes to visit her son's grave, there's all these kids gathered around hanging out at the cemetery.
Really?
And usually we have like runners in the Dunmore cemetery, and they just stick to the path and run. But these kids are like sprawled out all over the place, sitting on top of gravestones. And she said, if I ever catch one of those kids sitting on my son's gravestone, I am going to knock them right off of it. And apparently they got locked in the one night.
Well, that's stupid.
Yeah, they got locked in there. The police had to come and like rescue them. Yeah, I'm guessing they got made fun of pretty badly.
Yeah, there's been a lot of stuff like that. There's been a girl who like found a dead body because she was trying to catch a Pokemon. There has been people who are moronically driving and playing it. Like with many things, people are taking it to the extremes.
I heard this one person literally came to a dead stop in the middle of an interstate to try to get one. And they caused a massive pileup.
Which is weird because it's like, unless I'm have the game on, like I have to have the game on for it to like work.
Yeah.
So
that means why would you do that while you're driving?
Yeah. It's like people who like update their Twitter status, or I'm checking in and I'm driving in the highway. Yeah, that's really dumb.
Um,
I think one guy even walked off a cliff, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, well, it wasn't. I read that story too. They didn't walk off a cliff. I guess I don't even understand the mindset of this, because when the way it works is that, so if there is a spot nearby, like I don't need to be next to it really. Like I don't have to get out of my car for it's one's like at the library, and or like a statue near the library or something like that. And if I'm like in the parking lot, I'm okay because you have like a radius thing that goes out. That's about like half a city block. So I don't know why people are doing that. It doesn't make any sense to me. But there are a lot of good things about the game. Like it benefits you the more you walk. So like you'll get like a bonus egg, and in order to hatch that egg, you have to walk a certain mile. It could be 5 kilometers, 2 kilometers, 10 kilometers. Like I said, there are specific spots where you get like additional bonuses. For some people, I guess it's a cemetery, but for around the ones that are around my area, or like there's a quarry, then there's like there's like a statue thing and like a fountain that it is. And I went down to the Inner Harbor in Baltimore, and they had a lot there that were different, like We're Please Believe It or Not, and different buildings like that. So there are some really cool elements of it, though, despite those stupid people. Like yesterday, we were walking in the quarry area that we walk around sometimes, and there were like 3 dozen more people than you would normally see there. A bunch of kids, older adults. Like the age ranges was insane. Like I saw there were kids as young, like 5 or 6, and then I think there was a couple, like a couple that had to be in their 70s, are all kind of conversing and hanging out, and then there are all these like kids around, and then like a cop comes around. I don't know if he was just patrolling the area or he was on foot, and he pulls out his phone and starts just playing with the kids. And like that was kind of cool to see. They were just like hanging out, like catching Pokemon together, because there's a thing that you can use to help bring Pokemon to your area, which I guess some people are using, and then in secluded areas and robbing people. So again, a lot of personal responsibility that needs to be used. And then when I was in the Inner Harbor, there were like there are certain ones that like that populate depending on the type of area they're around. So like being harbor, being near water, that does get certain different kinds. And there was like a really rare one, and there was like this huge group of people, like half dozen or so, if not more, like collecting it and sharing it. It was just like, I don't know, it's a cool little communal experience. And yeah, people are somewhat buried in their phones, but after that you do see people talking and conversing that you never would have conversed about or talked to before. So there are a lot of bad things about it, but I think the good outweighs that, and it's not that hard not to do that. It's like not that hard to just don't be stupid, I guess. It's a good rule in life. And it's funny because I thought like my wife would make fun of me for it, and because we were actually at the park one day, and I like tried to stinkily take my phone out and see if there's any around, and then now she's actually addicted to it too and playing it. And then I feel like it's
surprised.
Yeah, I was very surprised too, and I usually don't like any of this at all. Like I never like have any desire to play games like this. It's kind of like a role-playing game in a way, or I guess I never played Pokemon before, but for some reason I find it fun. It's like an interesting challenge. So like when you find a Pokemon, you have to use this like a ball mini game to try to capture it, and then like you can upgrade them. They're different kinds, and I don't know. It's stupid, and probably by the time this is released, this fad will be over. But it's like the Pogs of the 2000s, I guess. I don't know if you guys remember Pogs, but I was a fan of those.
Oh yeah.
So
yes.
Though near my work, there's like one of those Pokestops, and I was walking around it the one day, and then I saw. It's weird seeing a bunch of like middle-aged businessmen in like nice suits sitting around their phone playing Pokemon. It's a weird sight to witness, but I don't know. Despite that embarrassing aspect of my life lately, Greg, I know you teased about talking about a TV show a few weeks ago. I think you finally finished it up. So, what
yes,
were
I did.
Final thoughts on Alphas?
Alphas, yeah, it's interesting. It's kind of like a pseudo X-Men with, which I think they could, Fox could kind of watch that and kind of take examples of what's good and bad from the show and kind of use it to help them figure out how to make an X-Men TV show. The actors were all really great, I thought. Characters were very interesting, except everybody really didn't have like new and different powers from each other. There were a lot of overlap in this, which I thought was kind of weird for the show, because it wasn't like the whole world was filled with people with superhuman abilities. They were in the minority. And so like to see 3 people with the same like adrenaline power, where if their adrenaline gets boosted, they get super strong and everything, and it's like 3 different characters had that. So I wish they kind of had separated powers a little bit more and gave out more diverse powers, I guess I'm saying. And overall, the storylines were a bit weird. I'm not sure if it's because they only lasted 2 seasons and they tried to wrap up, but the finale was ultra weird to me and kind of fell into lines of I never watched this show, but The Sopranos, where they kind of like blacked the screen out and then there was just a gunshot or something, I believe.
Yeah, that was like the last episode of Sopranos, which a lot of people hated because it kind of left it on a cliffhanger and you didn't know what happened.
Yeah, this one also kind of left on a weird cliffhanger, and it was just ultra bizarre. I would say it was even more bizarre than Sopranos, even though I haven't seen it. But it was just a bit weird. Character development was the best part of the show. So following the characters and everything like that was interesting. But as far as the ultimate big storyline, it was just kind of weird, and I felt like it was all over the place. I wouldn't really recommend it for anybody to really watch. It really wasn't worthwhile, especially with the ending they had. There was a few interesting episodes here and there that maybe you kind of get into watching, but like it altogether really wasn't worth it, I felt. So that's Alphas.
That's disappointing. I've never watched it myself. I can't. Mostly every sci-fi show I've tried to watch, I just haven't really enjoyed the aesthetic of their show, and just felt like.
Have you tried Eureka or Warehouse 13?
I have not, so maybe
okay.
I don't have
those were my two favorites from the Sci-Fi Network that they came out with.
So am I wrong in saying Warehouse 13 and Alphas exist in the same universe?
I have no idea. I don't think so. I didn't see any overlap from the two shows. Warehouse 13 was a little bit more wacky, kind of out there kind of science. And I felt like this science was a little bit more strict to its adherence and kind of more focused, as opposed to going all over the place wacky, kind of like Warehouse 13 does.
Interesting. Cool. Well, Soxy didn't like it. I maybe I'll check it out and see. Remember that there was that other fake X-Men show in the 90s, Mutant X or something like that?
It was like a Generation X type of show, like the Mutants Generation X kind of thing. There was also a Birds of Prey show that I'd like to see, and I don't know where that is at this point. It didn't last that long.
I've heard nothing but awful things about that. So enjoy, I guess. I don't know. Maybe they can bring it back and it will be good. Who knows?
I just read something this week that they're talking about working on a new X-Men TV show on the FX network, I guess.
Well, they have those two in development, the Legion one, and then the one with the
Hellfire Club.
Is this an actual X-Men TV show?
This is, well, they're not sure what it is. This would be a third one. I guess they're actually filming on Legion already, but the Hellfire one sort of fell by the wayside, and nobody's really heard any updates for a while. But this one, I don't think there's a title for it yet, but they said it's going to focus on at least in the beginning, it's going to focus on this one particular family and the issues that they're dealing with. I guess I don't know if it's their son or daughter is a mutant, and they face a lot of issues and stuff like that. So kind of sounds interesting. I'm not sure who exactly it would be, but all the bigwigs from the X-Men movies are on it. Bryan Singer and Simon Kinberg and Lauren Schuler Donner, whatever her name is. I think Jeff Loeb is on it too. So
wow,
it's got to be good, right? I don't know.
Jeff Loeb, right? No, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Interesting.
I'm interested though.
That could work, I guess. We'll see. All right. Well, anything else before we take a quick break? All right. Well, when we come back, we will be playing that all-time infamous game. Is it real or is it fake? We'll see in a bit.
Hey, I'm Gary.
I'm Mike.
I'm Chuck.
And I'm Justin. Join the four of us every week on the internet's #1 and longest-running G.I. Joe podcast, What's on Joe Mind?
It's Joe news, reviews, and interviews like you've never heard them before, delivered right to your MP3 player.
Our guests include Jason Marsden, Kevin Michael Richardson, and Matt Yang King from G.I. Joe Renegades, Larry Hama, Robert Adkins, and John Barber from IDW Publishing, and many more from around the online Joe community.
Yeah, it's guys talking about Joe. Think of it as Joe Talk meets sports talk. And we make fun of Chuck.
Right, and we... Hey, again?
Come on, Chuck. We're just kidding, kinda.
Sometimes Chuck makes fun of himself.
Right, and we... Okay, seriously, this is just getting ridiculous now.
It's What's on Joe Mind, every week on the Geekcast Radio Network, InsidePulse.com, Stitcher Smart Radio, and iTunes. Download and listen today.
I suppose I still can't say something about Transformers, can I?
Good.
No.
What about sports?
That sounds good.
Yeah, that's all right.
All right, and welcome back. Yes, today I have scoured the world of the internet, which is a dangerous, dangerous thing to do. And I found out some interesting projects that are coming up. Some of them I may have made up myself. Some of them may actually be real. And what I'll be doing is I'll be going over these. And Chuck and Greg will be trying to determine, is that a product of my imagination, or is that something that's actually going to be released for the public to witness? So we'll start with an easy one here. One maybe that you're aware of, maybe you're not, because maybe it's real, maybe it's fake. But it is a television show. It's called Powerless. And the description of the show, I should forewarn you that some of these shows, or TV shows, comic books, movies, what have you, are different levels of production. Some are just concepts at the moment. Some already have directors assigned and ready to be made. Some are going to be released in only a few months. So we'll see if it changes. This is set to be being released this September, or is it? It's called Powerless, like I mentioned. The show is about an insurance company that deals with the destruction left by heroes of the DC universe. Some of the stars include Danny Pudi, from those who know Abed from that of Community, Alan Tudyk, who is like the geek's everything, and Vanessa Hudgens, who I think is infamous from her time at High School Musical. Is Powerless an actual TV show that will be released soon?
I'm going with Khan. I believe you're just twisting it slightly. I believe it's Marvel, and it's called Damage Control.
Interesting. Am I doing that, Chuck? Am I twisting Damage Control into Powerless and making it DC? Or is this actually a TV show?
Yeah, I'm going to say fake, because I just simply do not see Vanessa Hudgens being relevant again.
It is actually real. It is actually real, coming out this fall on NBC. So enjoy that.
I swear there was something said about Marvel doing Damage Control.
There is. There is.
So we're going to have two competing shows of people that clean up after superheroes.
It's a possibility. I think Damage Control hasn't been made yet. It may have been shelved, but this one is actually coming out. So
that's kind of fucked up.
Yeah.
Tell us how you really feel, Greg.
True. That is, I mean, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. That's the world we live in. All right. Well, we'll stay in the realm of TV shows for our next one. It's called Internet Hoarders. One of TLC's most shocking and notable shows is getting a spin-off, but this time it's going viral. Internet Hoarders will be a painful look inside a disease that can bury its sufferer. But an augment of a new technology, hoarding has taken a new shape. Internet hoarding will look at the true damage that is caused by things like Facebook games like Farmville and other microtransaction games that have a grip on its victims. What starts as a harmless hobby takes some people down a dark road that leads to financial disaster. If they don't respond to professional help, the consequences sometimes can involve eviction, kids can be taken away, or even jail time. This will be a flagship show of TLC's new online platform that will be debuting next spring. Internet Hoarders. Is that real or fake? Chuck, any ideas?
Sounds legit. I mean, I'm going to go real.
Why do you think it's real?
Because I think it's extremely plausible, and it's...
as we've seen with Pokemon Go. I mean, yeah.
Yes, and I think it's something that I could definitely see getting a green light, because there's far more foolish things on television. So I'm going to say real.
Greg, are you in agreement, or do you think this is something I made up in my crazy mind after playing too much Pokemon Go?
I also think it's real. I think there's a lot of people out there that like internet porn, and they just keep saving a whole bunch of internet porn images and stuff like that. I can see it. I could see a lot of addiction and weird stuff coming out of that premise that TV shows would love to cash in on.
Well, currently, Internet Hoarders does not exist. It is a fake show that I made up. So.
Oh, wow.
Oh, good job.
I was wondering how they would get thrown out of their own house for like having an addiction to something, or evicted for having an addiction to something like that.
I took that line from the actual TV show of Hoarders, so that's why that sounded. I realized it sounded weird, but I'm like, it makes it sound like something a reality TV show would do though. It's like, oh, they might get evicted or kids be taken away. I guess maybe if like they're spending all their money on, microtransaction games, it's possible. So
true.
All right.
True.
Well, this one is do you guys know? I don't know if you saw, but there is another Sharknado movie being released this summer. This is real. This is a part of the game.
Seriously?
Yeah, it's called Sharknado: The Fourth Awakens.
Yeah, I heard of that.
Yeah, so
They need to stop. It was cute maybe up until the second one. Then after the third one, it's just past the cuteness, quirkiness scale.
Well, I was shocked. Like, I saw an ad on IMDb. I'm like, they're really making another Sharknado one. So I'm like, is there a fifth one already in development? So I searched Sharknado, and this is what actually I found. Is currently, this is early development. This has not been fully agreed upon, but this is currently a rumor of something that may be coming out. And it is. You guys are going to love this. If this, Sharknado vs. Birdemic, Dawn of Vengeance. Currently in early production. There's not much to go on yet, just some proof of concept stuff. Looks like, from what I can get, the stuff mentions that they're taking the internet phenomenon of Sharknado and combining it with the cult horror classic Birdemic to create the greatest film known to mankind. Full cast has not been announced, but it looks like some of the cast of like Tara Reid are rumored, and the creator of Sharknado is credited, but I don't know if that's just because they have to because he created the original film. I don't know. It doesn't seem like he's involved at all. But they are going to be planning on starting a hashtag program during the Sharknado 4 with asking people to tweet using the hashtag Sharkdemic or Burnito to show your support for the idea. Is that something that is real or fake? Sharknado versus Birdemic, Dawn of Vengeance. Greg, any ideas?
I'm going to go with fake because no one thinks that it's Birdemic is a horror classic. No. It's just not a classic.
Classic's a strong word.
Come on now. It's not, I mean, classic is a strong word. Maybe not strong enough. I'm not sure. Chuck, what are your thoughts?
Well, my first thought is, when I think of sharks versus birds, the first thing I think of is fair fight. Sure.
That's very true.
But I think I am going to go fake as well. I don't know. It just doesn't pass the smell test.
Yeah, it doesn't pass the smell test because it is fake. But I thought it'd be a fun idea nonetheless. And
it definitely would be.
It's fake now, but give it time. Give it time. They got eventually. It might not be Sharknado versus Birdemic, but it's going to be Sharknado versus something. We know that for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. Well, all right. Next one up, another TV show. And this one I was surprised. Like, this was crazy that I saw this come up. But it is a TV show, Taken, based upon the actual TV show, or sorry, the Liam Neeson movies, Taken. Taken is heading to the small screen as NBC has handed a straight-to-series order for a prequel adaptation of the popular action movie which starred Liam Neeson, as mentioned. Variety has confirmed the series will follow young Brian Mills, the character played by Neeson in the three flicks, who has no wife or kids, so I don't know who they're taking.
His mom.
So he has no wife and kids. The show, first reported by Deadline, will focus on Mills as he acquires his expert skills that we know and love that enable him to become the character known to audiences today. The long line pays homage to the first film in the famous quote, "What I do is have a very particular special set of skills I have acquired over my very long career, skills that have made me a nightmare for people like you." Taken TV series. Chuck, is it your dream come true, or am I just playing with you? Not what I meant? No. Or am I just making this up?
That is definitely my dream come true. That a TV show could be made about that, unless it was done extremely poorly, which would become a nightmare. But
yeah, like the Transporter TV show.
Yes. Did that even make it a entire season, or was it just like
I think
canceled
it made it
midstream?
a full. I think it actually even may have been 2 seasons. I don't know, but I know it made at least a full season.
You know what? I think there's some truth to this. I think it's real because I heard some rumblings of it from someone else, from another source. So I'm going to go ahead and say real.
Greg, do you agree? Is Taken coming to the small screen?
I'll go with true as well.
That is correct. Taken is actually heading to the small screen and will be debuting in NBC. I think it's either this fall or as a replacement series in the spring. So it is.
Oh, nice.
It is real. The guy playing the new Liam Neeson is Clive Standen, Clive Standen, looks really not much like anything.
That sounds like a total fake name.
It does. Clive Standen. I should have put that in just to make you think it wasn't real.
He's just standing there.
Yeah. Some notable things. He was in Doctor Who. He played a unit soldier and Private Harris in Doctor Who.
Unit soldier. He's totally background.
Yeah. He was in Vikings, the show Vikings, and Everest. I think it's the only movie I see that he was notable for. But yeah, so.
Can we bring in the stand-in for stand-in?
I could be saying his name wrong, but we'll see.
I heard something far, far more troublesome. I don't know if there's any truth to it at all, but I heard that in some way tied to this project was none other than Mel Gibson. I don't know if that's true or not.
Interesting. I don't see him attached to anything I see.
Okay, that would be a good thing.
I mean, to Mel Gibson's credit, like, he can actually make a good movie, but he's just a crazy mother.
Yeah.
I don't see him.
Motherfucker, I'm talking about Shaft.
I don't see him at all with this. So I don't know if I know, like, they're talking about a Lethal Weapon TV show as well, but I don't see him as noted for anything regarding Taken.
Yeah.
So. Not a producer or anything. So.
Good.
All right. What else do we got? This one's interesting. CW is getting a lot of comic book properties. Did you know it was getting this one? They are taking Archie and making it into a TV show, but they're calling it Riverdale. A subversive take on Archie, Betty, Veronica, and their friends, exploring surrealism of a small-town life, the darkness and weird bubbling benefits of Riverdale's wholesome facade. That is the description of Riverdale. Archie, because CW needs more comic book shows. Is that actually something that is existing, or is that fake? Chuck, any ideas?
I think, I think that might be real. As weird as it sounds, I really want to say that it's fake, but I think I also heard something about that, unless I'm mistaken. But
I think I also heard something about that, so I'm also going real.
Would you guys? I know, Greg, you've read a few issues of the reboot Archie. Would you watch any episodes of a Riverdale TV show?
I don't know. I've been reading more of the Afterlife with Archie than regular Archie. I only think I've read one regular Archie comic. I don't know. I'm not into the whole, like, the relationships of people unless really weird shit is going down, like superpowers or some super science fiction-y. Just normal, oh, he cheated on me with the head cheerleader or whatever, blah, blah, blah crap.
Yeah, and, well, you'll have your chance, because if you just decide to change your mind, because it is real. It is a real TV show. That's why you heard people talking about it. It is coming to CW, so we'll see how it goes. I guess it could be a weird new 90210 for a new age with old-time characters. I don't know. We'll see. All right, well...
Let's hope not.
All right. Well, next one might be one you guys would maybe be interested in. I'm not sure. Knight Rider, the movie. On November 26, 2014, it was announced that a feature film, tentatively titled Night Ride, I don't know why they changed it to Night Ride, but that's what they did, would go into production. Mark Wahlberg is set to play Michael Knight, and Patrick Stewart is rumored as Kit. And Peter Berg as director. Filming was set to begin in early 2015 for the theatrical release for the following year. However, due to delays, the Hollywood Reporter indicated that Peter Berg left it and was replaced with Damien Schifferon. I have no idea how to say that name, who will also write the film. Filming is set to begin in September 26th and released on December 22nd, 2017. Knight Rider the movie, is it actually happening? Real or fake, Greg?
I want to go fake on this because it sounds terrible. I have no other explanation besides that, is that I just don't want it to be real. The only good thing about that is Patrick Stewart being the voice of Kit
Were you a fan of Knight Rider at all growing up?
My brother is. He has like the whole collector set and everything. I wasn't really a big fan. I've watched a few episodes. I'm not the biggest fan, I guess you would say. So no.
Yeah. Chuck, are you in agreement with Greg? Is this fake or is this real? Knight Rider, the movie, or also known as Night Ride for the hip kids out there?
Ooh, this one's tantalizing. I was a fan of Knight Rider. I didn't like the newer version they tried to do on TV with the Mustang. I thought it kind of sucked.
I forgot that movie.
Yeah, what car are they having in it?
It does not say, but I think it's going to be a hybrid. No, I have no idea.
It's a Prius. No,
wouldn't surprise me if it was like a hybrid, but more like a Tesla or something.
Yeah, it's not nothing regarding the car. You think that'd be the first thing they announced, but not so much.
Yeah.
Yeah, like a teaser of a car, like just the picture or something like that. But yeah, I don't know. I think I'm gonna go fake. I think after the colossal flop of the rebooted TV show, I don't think they're gonna touch that just yet.
Yeah, and I forgot about that TV show, which is probably a reason that I shouldn't have created this because it is fake. But what is actually coming out is a TV show or movie based upon this TV show, $6 Million Man, called $6 Billion Man, which will be starring Mark Wahlberg, coming out this January. I kind of just took that and replaced it with Knight Rider. So Knight Rider's not happening, but and they're changing it to $1 Billion Man will be coming out this January.
I just see a meme of like Dr. Evil standing there with the pinky up to his mouth, reiterating $6 billion.
It will be starting soon, I bet. All right. I don't know. Let's see. Maybe this one you guys will be both into. We talked about cons, I think, the other week, and I saw this was in production or early production. I'm not sure what you want to call it, but I think it was set for 2021. I was in Wikipedia 2018 in film, and I was just keep going up to see how many years it was, and this one was listed for 2021. So, but it's called Comic-Con the Movie, the Fans' Last Hope. The biggest event in history of geekdom is now getting its own movie. Brad and Eric are two lifelong friends who dreamed of one day attending the con of all cons and bashing in the glow of legendary Hall H. This year, their all-time favorite TV show, Space Knight Invaders, is having their 30-year reunion. With this being their last year before college, they set off on an adventure they will never forget. It is said to have cameos from the world's biggest geek personalities, including William Shatner, Chris Hardwick, Will Wheaton, Joss Whedon, and Tony Stark himself, Robert Downey Jr. This will also be incorporating documentary-esque footage from real-life Comic-Con fans. So what they're asking, it looks like they're going to be starting this and coming up in San Diego Comic-Con. They're going to be creating an app asking fans to videotape themselves and using a Snapchat filter as well as, what is this, Periscope? In addition,
yeah,
and
Periscope.
They will be using some of this footage in the actual movie itself. So the comic fans that have made Comic-Con what it is will be able to partake in this movie. Comic-Con the Movie, is it happening, Greg?
Didn't they already make like a documentary kind of like this? It was the dude from Super Size Me.
Yeah, they made Comic-Con A New Hope, but this is actually like a live-action movie, like an actual set to be directed, like fictional film.
I'll go real. I don't know. I feel like you're tricking us on this one.
Well, why would I be tricking you? I would not do that to you.
Yeah. You would for this kind of thing. In normal real day life, you wouldn't be tricking us, but for this game, you would be tricking.
Funny story, this is actually not a podcast. It never gets released, and you just don't realize it.
What?
Yeah, I know.
Who comments on our stuff all the time, then?
Internet ghosts.
Oh my god, internet ghosts are real.
The comment race from Flash. They just
yeah, sometimes you feel like those actually do exist if you go on Twitter enough.
They're called trolls.
So am I trolling you here, Chuck, or is this an actual film that will be coming out?
Yeah, I'm afraid I'm going to have to say that you're trolling us. I'm not buying this this film. Hopefully I'm right.
You are correct. It is not actually happening. I was trolling you. I was tricking you, as Greg was pointing out. So,
damn it.
It's what I'm due. Well, this next one, Greg, I think hopefully I won't be tricking you because it's something you might be interested in. Remember that comic book Chrononauts? Well,
yes.
Rumor is it's actually going to be made into a movie. So what is it about? This one's been described as time travel bromance for the ages. As you need more information to be convinced, the protagonists are called Corbin Quinn and Dan Reilly, two buddies with a heap of scientific know-how between them. Who's involved? This is another Mark Millar comic becoming a movie because all of his comic books become movies. So again, he's involved at a high level. Also, it looks like the Fox is interested in picking it up. And as well as Universal apparently has interest in distributing it. It looks like having a release date of 2018 is the best outcome for it. Chrononauts, the movie, Greg, is that actually a possibility of coming out?
I would think so. It was a really good story. It was a lot of fun. I'm not sure if it's going to would have a whole bunch of plot to it because I don't think the comic book had a whole lot of plot to it, but I'm going to go yes and be optimistic because I really like that comic.
Chuck, I know you have not read Chrononauts, but I know you're aware of Mark Millar and the fact that he has like 8,000 movies based upon his comics. So do you think Chrononauts is real, or is this something, again, I am making up just to fool with Greg's mind and get his hopes up?
This is a tough one. You're right. I know absolutely nothing about this, so hopefully that doesn't hurt my decision at all. But I think, what the hell? I'm going to say fake.
This one is actually real. It's in pre-production, but it looks like nothing's been finalized at the moment, but it is in the moment of being developed into an actual movie. So you may see Chrononauts coming to a theater in the next year or two, or 2 years or so.
Sweet.
Interesting.
All right. Let's see what else do we got here. We're in the world of comic book movies. Let's stay there. I don't know how familiar you guys are with this character, but I know I talked about him on the podcast. He's one of Valiant's most infamous characters, Bloodshot. I know when you go to the Baltimore Comic-Con, there's always that guy dressed up as Bloodshot. I don't know if you remember. He's all in white with red eyes.
Oh, the drunken guy out on the sidewalk?
Him too. They're making a movie about him.
So you see a lot of those when we no, I'm not really familiar.
Okay. Well,
I think I was more, focused on the 65-year-old guy in the Tarzan uniform.
That'll do it. That will do it. Well,
loincloth.
if you Google Bloodshot, you will see him. It's one of Valiant's most infamous characters. But it's looking to become a movie. Who is involved? Well, the directing duo that gave us John Wick are interested in directing. The screenplay is being written by Jeff Wadlow, who was the person who wrote the script for Kick-Ass 2. And Matthew Vaughn is set to be an executive producer. So, when is it coming out? Movie's been announced for 2017 with no specific date yet. And casting has not been announced yet either. Is Bloodshot an actual movie in development, or is it even a fake character that I just created and you guys don't even realize it?
I've heard of Bloodshot. As far as the movie, what is it? What will it be about? Do you know?
Yes. Looks like we can probably expect an origin beats, probably including Project Rising Spirit, which is like the Weapon X of Valiant, the government soldier enhancement program that caused Bloodshot's powers and memory loss. Often they send him after strong telekinesis people called Harbingers. A movie called Harbinger, based on the superpower team, is also in the works. And Bloodshot will be released on an unspecific date with the hopes of creating a Valiant universe similar to that of the Marvel universe that exists today. So that's what it's about, if that helped you out at all. Basically, it's an origin story of the character and how he was experimented on by the government and became Bloodshot, and the enemies he goes after, but are they really enemies is the question.
I'm going to go with the fake. I really don't have a real reason. I don't know. I don't know.
Bloodshot is actually happening, potentially. It's been announced, and it seems like Valiant is really pushing forward to have a cinematic universe. So we'll see. There's actually a bunch of Valiant movies that are in production, so we'll see if they actually do happen. But it is real.
Interesting.
All right, let's go. This is a good one. All right, this is actually a Marvel animated film that's currently in production. Marvel's greatest and most unbeatable superhero is finally getting her own movie. Unbeatable Squirrel Girl is looking to make her debut in an upcoming Marvel animated film. Dorn Green, known as Squirrel Girl, is a human superhero with the proportional strength and speed of a squirrel, as well as the ability to speak to squirrels like her sidekick, Tippy Toe. Currently selected for straight-to-DVD release, there has been a recent push to bring it to the big screen and get Anna Kendrick to voice the title role. Currently is set as a Marvel in-house property, but if enough interest continues, they do think that it may work in conjunction with the same studio that produced Big Hero 6. Marvel animated film Squirrel Girl, is that real or fake? Chuck, I'll actually start with you this time so I don't forget you. What do you think?
So what was that again? It's going straight to DVD or it's a theatrical release?
Currently, it's set for straight to DVD release, but there's been a recent push to get Anna Kendrick to voice the role, and there seems to be a lot of interest. So there is potential that it will end up being pushed over to the studio that brought Big Hero 6, which I guess the same thing happened with them. They were set to be a straight to DVD release, but actually got released in theaters. And they're thinking that this might be the next one that they release in actual theater. So right now, straight to DVD, but potential theatrical.
I don't know. I think I'm gonna say real on this one because I could definitely see them going in this direction, especially wanting to get more girl heroes involved. And she's sort of like a
she's like if Zooey Deschanel became a superhero. Like she's got like that type of quirk to her.
And I feel like her fan base is sort of like it's like a little niche type of thing, like how Deadpool started out.
Yeah.
And I think it's got that potential to sort of blossom out. So I'm going to say real. I think that could happen.
Greg, is Unbeatable Squirrel Girl an action movie that will be released? Real or fake?
I've heard talk about Anna Kendrick and that kind of rumor thing. So I'm gonna go with real. I just heard that she would like to do Squirrel Girl, but I think it would be for in real life. So
with Tippy Toes.
So I'll go with real.
Real. You're right. That's Greg is very much correct. There has been a lot of push for Anna Kendrick, but it is actually fake. It is not a real story. There has been people trying to get Anna Kendrick to play her in live action, but there's no Squirrel Girl DVD release scheduled. So
you tricky man.
Yeah. My love of Squirrel Girl. I mean, I just want to see it. Though I really like that comic that's out currently. So this current thing, I am not a huge fan of. I know a lot of people are, but it's unlike Pokemon that became my thing. I don't see this becoming my thing, but it's popular. So is this real or fake? My Little Pony, an animated feature film based directly on a television series, was first announced in October 2015, but it's finally scheduled for a theatrical release on October 6, 2017. The film is Hasbro's first animated feature film, and from Allspark Pictures, it will be distributed worldwide by Lionsgate, and with the exception of China, it will not be released there. I guess they don't like ponies. Let's see. It will be an original story starring some of the most infamous characters from the show, including Twilight Sprinkle, Applejacks, Fluttershy, Pinky Pink, Rainbow Dash, and Rarity. I feel less manly just for saying those words out loud.
And on the main stage, everybody give it up for Rarity!
And Twilight Sprinkle. Oh, that sounds, I don't know. My Little Pony animated film. Greg, is this real or fake?
I wish it was fake, but I think it's real. The bronies have a lot of power. And I've been following Agnes Garboska on Snapchat. So she draws My Little Pony. And I'm more interested in her than the actual movie.
Chuck, are you in agreement with Greg? Is My Little Pony are the bronies getting their movie? Is it being released into theaters?
Sadly, very very sadly, I think this is true. Because I know that the My Little Pony stuff gets a huge amount of traction. There's like these massive conventions, and that's cool if you're into that. It's just like the regular cons. I think some people take it way too far.
Oh,
and
Chuck,
they actually
on
think that they
Snapchat.
are that character or something. I don't know.
On Snapchat, Agnes Garbosco was just at My Little Pony Con and saw pictures from that. It is totally different than a regular Comic-Con because it is the colors and like the setup. It is.
There's probably more people dressed up too. Like it's probably like everybody.
It's like taking a rainbow sherbet and rubbing it in your eyes.
I think we have a show title for this week. Rainbow sherbet in your eyes. That's the best analogy I've heard in quite a while.
Thank you. I try.
Yeah, I think unfortunately it's all too real. The nightmare is upon us. But
yeah,
I also wanted to say that apparently China's not a fan of playing anything because I just heard this morning that they're not even releasing Ghostbusters in China because they're against like anything that has any sort of cult or anything like that. So yeah, they're not even, people in China will not be able to see Ghostbusters, but maybe it did them a favor. So.
Maybe. Interesting.
That's probably gonna go see that by myself tomorrow.
Best of luck, Chuck.
Take some sherbet with you.
Just in case of awfulness. It is true. You guys are correct. It is actually being made. I'm not like I have seen some documentaries on bronies. I think one was My Little Brony, which was interesting. I guess like Chuck mentioned, all kind of factions have their weird fans, and but some people love it. More power to them, I guess. Go with what you love. Next up, we have Mary Poppins Returns, of course, a new film developed by Walt Disney Pictures. The film will take place 20 years after the first, featuring a standalone narrative based on the remaining 7 books. Warren Marshall is set to direct, the guy who brought us things like Valentine's Day, Mother's Day, Pretty Woman, and currently Emily Blunt is set to play Mary Poppins. Is Mary Poppins Returns real or fake, Greg?
I don't know. I think I heard something about this. I heard something about Emily Blunt and something different. I'll go with real.
Are you a fan of the original Mary Poppins?
I haven't seen it in like forever. I really like that Tom Hanks movie where they talk about Mary Poppins. That was really great. But Mary Poppins is good. It kind of hits on my nostalgia factor, so it's probably rated higher than it actually is in my brain.
Chuck, are you in agreement? Is Mary Poppins Returns actually a film that's coming out? And will she return with vengeance is the question.
Return of the Rise of Mary Poppins. No, I think I'm going to say Dan has been smoking too many Emily Blunts, and I think this is fake.
I may have been, but it is actually real. It is set to come out in 2018. Yeah, it is a thing that exists in the world, so get ready for it. All right, where are we at? A couple more, maybe 2 more. I got 2 more for you. Next one is Scoob. That is S period, C period, O period, O period, B period. Scoob is an upcoming American 3D computer animated film featuring characters from Scooby-Doo. Again, get it, Scoob. Cartoon franchise. It is directed by Tony Chevallone, who may not be known by many, but he has directed a lot of cartoons, including Animaniacs, Tiny Toon Adventures. It is a reboot of the Scooby-Doo live-action films and will be the first feature film in the Hanna-Barbera cinematic universe. Let me repeat that. The Hanna-Barbera cinematic universe is coming, people, and this is the first film. Scoob. Is it happening? Chuck, is this real? Is Scoob a movie that's going to exist? It's set for release in 2018.
Oh, I hope not. I like Scooby-Doo. I can't get behind the concept of a Hanna-Barbera universe, though. I mean, I guess it's possible.
I guess you have like the Flintstones and the Wacky Racers, and DC just had all the reboot of all those comics.
Yeah, Future Quest is actually pretty good so far.
So, Is this gonna tie into? Will this kind of take that and run with it?
I think it's certainly plausible. I'm going to say fake though.
Is it fake, Greg? Is Scoob fake? Is this actually happening?
First off, I want to apologize to you, Dan, if this is actually fake. But Scoob is a terrible name. Does it stand for anything?
It might, but it didn't say anything in the description that I created.
I want to go with fake. Please tell me that was a bad imagining from your mind, Dan.
It was not a bad imagining from my mind. It actually does exist. It's happening. It is happening. A cinematic universe of Hanna-Barbera characters is happening, along with the Hasbro universe is happening. We're just going to be universes all over the place. So many to choose.
I don't want to live here anymore.
All right. Well, we'll make this the last one. So those were things that you guys probably didn't have interest in. This one, I think, Greg, again, you might be interested in this. I Hate Fairyland. From the twisted mind of Scotty Young comes the next
good comic
animated feature television sensation. I Hate Fairyland is early production at the moment and being shopped around as a proof of concept. The plan is to have short 15-minute episodes that will either be released separately or as a combined full 30-minute episodes, with a possibility of shorts starring some of the side characters as well on their individual quests. Desired landing spot currently is Cartoon Network's Adult Swim, or the possibility of MTV as it is looking to relaunch its well-respected cult classic Liquid Television that was made infamous in the 1980s and brought us such notable cartoons such as Eon Flux, but currently it does not have a landing spot, but those are where it's shooting for. So Chuck, I know you have not read I Hate Fairyland, but does it sound like something that might actually be happening?
You know what? I really don't know.
So I don't know if that's good or bad. I did a good job or a bad job. I don't know.
I think you did a good job. Yeah, I'm not really sure. I'm just gonna say fake. I don't know.
Greg, do you see this as something happening with, do you see I Hate Fairyland becoming a cartoon on Cartoon Network?
Yeah, I think it fits in with the scope of things people would watch, kind of an adult kind of thing, but not really. I would go with real. I'm hoping it's real because I really like that comic.
Well, Greg, not to kill your dreams, but it's not real. It is fake. I apologize. It is something I created up in my head. So. But maybe one day. It's fake now, but I could see it happening for real. So.
How dare you, Dan?
I know. All right, we'll make this one the last one. And it is. We talked about animated films. What about another animated Spider-Man film? At the moment, who's involved? Phil Lord and Chris Miller are tied. Those people who brought us 21 and 22 Jump Street and the Lego Movie. If the Spider-Man Homecoming proves lucrative for Sony, they do plan on releasing these animated films as well to correspond with that as additional side stories for the franchise. An animated Spider-Man film, Greg, is that actually happening? Is that a rumor that may actually be true?
I'm going to go with false, because we've already really got a Spider-Man cartoon out there already. I don't see the point in having two.
Chuck, do you agree? Do you think we'll actually see an animated Spider-Man film? And would it be something you would actually want to see?
I'm going to disagree and say real here. I think something that they're interested in is getting Spider-Man out there even more, because I know it's been sort of done over and over and sort of like beating the dead horse, but I think it's one of their most relatable characters with every new generation that comes along. So I think they're trying to sort of milk that cash cow, and it would be something I'm interested in. I always like checking out new iterations of Spider-Man, whether it be the movies or the animated series. So, the last couple they did, actually, I'm not a fan of the Ultimate Universe stuff, but the Ultimate Spider-Man series was actually pretty good, the animated series. So, I think I'm gonna guess yes, it's real.
And animated Spider-Man film, that is in fact real. It is something that is currently being planned by Sony, and it is set to coexist. What that means, they are not sure yet with the live-action film. So this looks like something they are looking to release.
Interesting.
I would love to see more animated like films like that. I feel like that might be maybe the way to go after you have all these actors, leave. Maybe the animated film would be a better route. I guess you don't have to worry about actors as much leaving.
I think it could be kind of like when they have a TV show and they end up releasing a comic book title that's sort of like a sequel to the TV show.
Yeah.
I feel like it could kind of be something like that, but probably be even more successful.
Yeah, I mean, look how popular animated films are, and then you add animated film and comic book. I mean, Big Hero 6 did gangbusters, and those were characters no one ever heard of. So, imagine this animated Spider-Man movie could be huge. So.
Indeed.
All right, well, we'd like to know what you thought are real or fake. Did you play along? How well did you do? Let us know in the comments by going to geekcastradio.com, or you can email us at feedback@geekcastradio or talkingincircles@live.com. We're on Facebook and Twitter. Just search Talking in Circles GCRN. You guys are also on Twitter. What are your Twitter names?
I am at Heroic Age Chuck.
I am at the Crate Forge.
And I am at Movie Revolt. But that'll be it for this week. We'll be back next week. Same time, same channel, same podcast feed. But for now,
this has been Chuck.
This has been Greg, or Twilight Sparkle.
And this has been Dan, shoving sherbet into his eyes. We've been Talking in Circles. We'll see you next week.
It hurts so much, but it's so delicious.
Do you taste with your eyes? Maybe I guess.
Running down my face into my mouth.
Yeah, that's a weird thing to put on something when we talked about being real to face.
I'll see you now, Mr. Bepler.
Who is he?
The devil, of course.
Greg, my boy, come and have a seat.
Sure. Are you seriously the devil?
Of course I am. Look at the horns attached to my head.
Well, you could be a goat. Or Hellboy. Ooh, are you Hellboy? That's a really good comic and pretty good movie. Do you know Mike Mignola or Del Toro? Could you get me an autograph?
I know neither, so I can't get you an autograph. I am not Hellboy. Does Hellboy have cloven feet and red skin?
Actually, yes, he does.
Well, will you just have to believe me that I am the devil?
But if you are the devil, then I really shouldn't believe you because you're evil. And if you aren't the devil, then you might be good. The chances are pretty high that you might be lying to me. Hey, what are you writing?
Just some activities I just thought of for you to attend later.
Cool, so you were like an entertainment director then?
In a way.
Awesome. Then could you get an awesome pool party going with a lot of different booze, a band, and well, just a bunch of gorgeous women, or just a bunch of gorgeous women hanging out with very little clothing on?
That sounds like a rap video.
I'd actually rather rock video.
I won't be able to do that for you. I am not the type of entertainment director. I could set up a demon to insert a pineapple up your ass. Green, spiky part first.
Is the demon female? If so, sounds kind of hot. What else you got?
You know what? We're done here.
Greg? Chuck, get in here. Greg's alive.
Greg?
Hey guys, what happened?
You were dead for like 5 minutes.
Huh. Maybe that was the devil.
Why did you send him back, sir? Why not torture God with his presence?
I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy.